Do you have like a player model or some a player like who do you want to refer when when do you watch some competitive games or something like this? Memento, do you have like a big brother as Tian or something like this? A jungler do you have in reference?
I mean, I like watching Canyon mostly.
Canyon, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I think like most of the junglers in Korean LPL are like all really good. So I always get like really good ideas from them, like how they path and what they do. So I just think there's so many good junglers, so I kind of like look up to all of them.
Yeah.
But mostly Canyon, I would say.
Okay. And you, Smiley?
And I'm talking about Gilius, obviously, not
Gilius.
Korean Canyon.
Good to know.
No, for I don't know. I guess like in Europe for sure it's like Reckless. Like Reckless is the dream AD. Kind of like the perfect AD carry in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But speaking more internationally, like I don't know, there's a lot of AD carries out there who's doing their own thing, being very successful at it.
True.
I think Viper, like as we talked about before the show, Viper's insane right now. I think without a doubt, like the best AD in the world. So I've been watching a lot of EDG. But because of like it's kind of hard to get by the pro views.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. I think for AD, like when you watch VODs, it's hard to always see exactly what they do because a lot of bot lane play, especially in early game, is about how you control the waves and what you allow the enemy to do with the wave in certain situations or how you can manipulate it. So it's not always that useful to watch VODs and only think about your own role. That's more like seeing how they move on the map maybe and seeing how they play out different situations, like different fights. But if I had to pick like one AD carry in the world right now, who I look up to the most, it's probably Viper. So
I understand that. Viper is the guy who tried to push every ADG members to the victory, and we'll see soon if he can do it. Diplex, what is your maybe a role model or some another mid laners that you consider a lot?
For me, it's mostly, I guess, Showmaker. Because he's like he also plays a lot of assassins, I guess, but he's like kind of forced to play like mages right now, and it's like similar to me, I guess.
True.
So looking kind of like up to him.
Du coup, il y a je posais la question de à qui il s'identifiait peut-être ou quels sont les joueurs qu'il regardait le plus. Memento nous a parlé de Canyon, donc le célèbre joueur allemand de l'équipe Schalke. Et ensuite, Smiley nous a parlé de Viper, mais aussi de Reckless, le rêve Zadegari, selon Smiley. Et Diplex nous parlait plutôt de Showmaker, un joueur coréen qui joue sur la mid lane, qui est champion du monde et qui lui aussi joue beaucoup d'assassins et qui, du coup, a lui aussi dû transformer son playstyle pour pouvoir rentrer dans la compo et jouer aussi des mages. Et il s'identifie pas mal à sa Diplex parce que lui aussi, il a eu à faire ce swap. I can take maybe one or two, and after we maybe go to the next live. I don't know who is after the Vitality, maybe on the Vitality TV. I don't know yet, but maybe we can have some insight. Do you feel a real difference between the French league and the other league in terms of level of skills, or because I'm pretty sure that you practice with a lot of different European teams, and that can be maybe a good insight with you guys. How do you think the LFL is? If the LFL is bigger than other leagues, or if maybe this is more than just one region we have to follow. So guys, what is the difference between LFL and the other leagues?
I guess I can go. I think LFL in general, like the whole level of like all teams combined, is for sure the best ERL, especially this split. But I do think there are other teams from other regions that like they have really good teams like at the top of their leagues. Like for
Mhm.
example, in Germany, I think Mouse and Big
Yeah.
are very good. I think from the UK, Excel is really good, and I think probably my favorite to win EU Masters.
True.
If I had to pick one, and even in Poland, like we lost to Luminar Gaming, you know,
Hmm.
that was the third team from Poland. I wouldn't say that we're worse than them. I didn't like think see us as being worse than them, but obviously we lost to them. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of strong teams out there, and I feel like as a whole, like all ERLs in a way has leveled up, but I still see French being, or the French league LFL being on top in terms of general skill of like
Okay.
all the teams. Like we have more solid teams than others. Like I think our top 5 beats any other team league's top 5, for example. So
Yeah.
that's how I see it at least.
Memento, you seem to agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think LFL is probably the highest level of skill outside of LEC. But like Smiley said, we also lost to Illuminar, which was the top 3 in Poland.
Yeah.
And I think, like, judging from scrims, I definitely feel like LFL was for sure like the strongest region. I think there are like some strong teams like Big and Mouse. Also, Agro Rogue is not that bad either. Like they're pretty good.
True.
So, but yeah, I think everyone just became so much better at the game, and the level of skill has just improved so much. Like I don't think the gap of LEC and ERL is. It used to be like ERL is like down here, right, and then LEC is like super high up. But
Yeah.
now I think it's like it's still a gap, right? But it's not as big of a gap.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a lot more fun now that everyone actually knows how to play the game, and it's a lot more competitive. And I definitely think like being in LFL was probably the best experience, just like viewing numbers as well, but also the quality of the games was also super fun to play against so good players.
Yeah, that seems also super cool to see that if the gap is closing between the ERL and also the LEC, that's make also more confidence to become a LEC player or re-became, or and I would say maybe also exports your experiences about with other leagues, some in NA, some on other maybe big leagues, and that's maybe a good path to stay a bit in ERL than before. Before that was like you have to shine in maybe few years or few splits, and if that's not working, you are never an LEC player. That's change a bit maybe with this level of skills in ERL. Thank you guys. Donc la réponse de Memento de Smiley, c'est que oui, le niveau est excellent en LFL et qu'il est le plus proche possible de la LEC. Il reste un gap, mais que les autres équipes de d'autres régions sont aussi également très forts, comme Moose, comme Agorog, comme BTXL, dont Smiley met une petite pièce d'ailleurs pour la suite des EU Masters. Donc voilà, tu as ta réponse, Skyrine. J'ai vu ta question et je l'ai prise.